So, it's been well reported that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be back this summer with a £250 million transfer budget, which is a little over €270 million. Now we know there is a likelihood that Manchester United will get £100 million for Paul Pogba, £20 million for Chris Smalling, £25 million for Linard, £12 million for Phil Jones to Newcastle apparently, and around £15 million for Andreas Pereira. Now if you add that all up, it comes to a total of £172 million. Now Manchester United, according to the Metro's transfer budget, is £250 million, which is a net spend of between 70 to 80 million. And the last few summers, Manchester United have had a net spend between 70 to 80 million. So I do very much believe that we will spend 250 million in the transfer window, because we'll probably get 150 million in sales. And we do have a thing about spending, about net spend only being 70 to 80 million. So, you know what, I do believe this source, and I do think that Ole's going to be backed in the summer. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 players with the strongest links to Manchester United, how likely it's going to happen, the 5 players that Ole is targeting. You know, he's rumoured to go for 5 players this summer, the ones with the strongest links, who those 5 players I think might be in this video. So make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. Now, we're going to start with the biggest player on this list, in Jadon Sancho. Now we know Ole's been interested in Jadon Sancho for a while. He's young, he's British, he's quick, he's skillful, he's a world-class player. He's going to be one of the best players in the world. At his age, he's one of the best players in the world, and he's only 19. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been linked to Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is this kind of player. He fits the counter-attacking style. He's got speed, he's got pace, he's got youth. He was building a young squad for the future. He wants to build something. We know that Jadon Sancho wants to come to England because that's his home country, and we know that Dortmund have said if the right price is given for Sancho, we will sell him. Now, only a few clubs in the Premier League can actually afford Sancho and his transfer fee. But we're going to cancel Man City out because Sancho, we know, left Man City for game time. And if he goes back to Man City, it's still competitive on the wing. Like Sané couldn't get in, that's why he wants to go to Bayern. Manchester United can offer Jadon Sancho his wages and game time. The only thing they can't offer him is Champions League football. And I made a video about this the other day about the likelihood of Jadon Sancho coming to Manchester United. And I think if we do get Champions League football, it's very likely, as I think Manchester United will spend the money for him. We know that Ole regards him very highly and he wants to come to the UK. So for me, it's between us and Chelsea and us getting Champions League football. You know, Chelsea did spend 50 million on Hakim Ziyech. However, they got 150 million for Hazard. They haven't spent in a year. They're more than willing to spend another 100 million to get Jadon Sancho in. But Chelsea are more interested in a number 9, which I'll come and talk to you about later. So I do think there is a high chance that Manchester United could get Sancho. I think if we get Champions League football, I'm quite confident we'll get him. If we don't get Champions League football, I could see him going to Chelsea. Don't know if he'd go to Liverpool because that's a hard front three to break. But, you know, if we get Champions League football, I think we've got a chance of signing him. Now, Sancho would cost around 100 to 120 million pounds, which would set Man United back a little bit. It'd be half our budget spent. But, you know, the money we get from Pogba is pretty much going to be spent on Sancho, and we'll still probably have another 100 million to spend elsewhere. Now, another player that's been highly linked to Manchester United, he was linked to us quite heavily in January, went off a bit, then he was saw at Carrington, he's been linked to us quite heavily again, is Jude Bellingham. Now, he is Dortmund's one of Dortmund's first choice targets, but he's also heavily linked to Manchester United, with him being seen at Carrington with his family, getting tours of the training house facilities. We know the club has been in talk. We know that he's probably going to leave Birmingham at the end of the season for around £30 million. Man United can afford that, Dortmund can afford that. For me, Jude Bellingham to Manchester United just depends on where he wants to go. I think we will pay the money for him, but he might go, I want to go to Dortmund, I want to go to Chelsea. For me, the likelihood of him going to Dortmund is quite high because Sancho, look what happened to Sancho, he went there, did well. He might think at Man United, he could be one of those Tom Cleverley players, you know. But then Man United's in England, so with Bellingham, I think the likelihood of him coming to Manchester United is up to the player. It's between him choosing Dortmund or Manchester United because they're the two clubs heavily linked to Jude Bellingham. Now the third player is Jack Grealish, who would set Manchester United back around £50 million. Now if Aston Villa get relegated, they're very likely to sell Jack Grealish, and we'd probably pay about 50 million for him. And I do think if Aston Villa get relegated, we will get Jack Grealish unless we spend a lot of money elsewhere. Now Jack Grealish has captain qualities. You know, he's fought for his team. He sees Man United as a step up. He's English. He's kind of young at 24. He's the perfect kind of player that Solskjaer wants. And we need depth in the attacking midfield. We still need another creator in the team. And with Pogba leaving, it looks like Jack Grealish is the one that Solskjaer's going to go for because he's more affordable to Manchester United than Maddison, and he has all these captain qualities, leadership qualities that Solskjaer regards highly. And he's a player that plays for his club. He plays for Villa. He plays for the badge. Solskjaer wants players that play for the badge. For me, I think Jack Grealish is very likely to happen. I know I've done many videos on him, so make sure to go check that out after this video. I think if Aston Villa get relegated and we sell Pogba, we will get Jack Grealish. Before we get into the next player, make sure to hit that like button and then subscribe down below if you're new here, as it will mean a lot. And also, I've done videos on Jadon Sancho to Manchester United, Jack Grealish to Manchester United. I did one on Bellingham about 2 months ago, and I'm going to do one next week. So make sure to subscribe and you go check out my other videos if you want to know more about the Grealish to Manchester United news, everything that's going on with it, the Sancho to Manchester United news, and even the Zakaria Manchester United news. Who is the next player on this list? Denis Zakaria. So the fourth player on this list, Denis Zakaria, will cost about between 30 to 45 million pounds. He's a CDM for Borussia Mönchengladbach. He can play box-to-box and centre-back, but his preferred position is CDM. He's 6'3", he's very physical, he's very quick, he's a ball carrier. He very much suits Ole's 4-2-3-1 counter-attacking style of play because he can get the ball from deep and move it quickly up the pitch, which is kind of how Ole wants to play. So I completely understand why he's in for him. We know there's been scouts at Borussia Mönchengladbach games. We know that Borussia Mönchengladbach, if they don't qualify for the Champions League, will probably need the money for him, so they will be likely to sell. And we know if we get the Champions League, you know, he might want to come here. We are in competition with Liverpool for him, which is quite hard, but I feel like we can guarantee him game time over Liverpool possibly. And we know that Manchester United desperately need a CDM. Herrera and Fellaini went. I know they went out-and-out CDMs, but we don't actually have an out-and-out CDM other than Matic in the club. I feel like McTominay's more box-to-box, Fred's more box-to-box. I mean, I'm not saying Zakaria's an out-and-out CDM, but he plays there. And I think that he would be better for the club, and I think we do need to go for a defensive midfielder. And I know that him amongst Tonali and Partey is sort of the three strongest link to us, and I do think we will go for Zakaria if we can. I think we will sign a CDM this summer, as we needed to sign one last summer, and really the summer before, you could say, but we didn't. I made a video on Zakaria like 2 days ago because he's been very heavily linked to Manchester United, so if you want to find more out about that, go check out that video. Just click on my thing, scroll down and you'll see it, but do that after this video, because the last player we're going to talk about is Timo Werner. The fifth and final player being Timo Werner. I think this is the one that's least likely going to happen. Now, I think Man United are in for him, but the reason I think it's least likely going to happen is because Chelsea are in for him, Liverpool are in for him, so many other clubs are in for him. He's a good price, he's a good young striker, and I think we want him, but I feel like we go for Sancho first, and I can't see Manchester United getting Sancho and Werner in the same transfer window. Now, it'd be amazing if we could sign Sancho and Werner in the same transfer window, but that just seems like too good. Do you know what I mean? And I think like Chelsea are massively in him, Liverpool are massively in for him. I think Chelsea will go for Werner over Sancho, and I think we'll go for Sancho over Werner. But if we don't get Sancho, I think Manchester United will go all out for Werner because he's quick, he's young, he fits Ole's style of play. Manchester United is a step up from Leipzig, you know. Werner has spoke very highly of Manchester United. You know, the idea of Manchester United in coming to Premier League, he's always spoke very highly of. He's pretty much a world-class striker. Like, I can't see why we wouldn't go for Werner. I think Werner wants to come to us, but I think we'll go for Sancho. But if we can't land Sancho, we'll go all out for Werner. He'll cost around £70 million, which is a good deal for Timo Werner. He can play all across the front three. However, I think he's the hardest to get. Now, there's other players linked to Manchester United at the moment, like Aubamyang, Harry Kane, Tonali, Sumer. I can make a video on them if you want as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you have not already, please hit that like button and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football so you don't miss daily football content from me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you're living well without football. I know it's hard, but month left, long bloody month. But yeah, we've got some good news that Manchester United are going to be in for some players, and I actually do believe this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.